Wah! Hello! How are we doing, Blue Fleet? Welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations 2. I actually feel like my voice is going to hold up this time. It's still not great, but it's in a much stronger position than last time I streamed this. So the reason I took a break was my voice has been so bollocks lately that doing any sort of voice acting is just murderous. And it was just like, you know, if I stream this too much, it's going to wreck my vocal cords, like, irreparably. So I had to take a break. Hey, Ara, how you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. So, yeah, we were still on Turnabout Legacy. So we're at latter Judy Bound's Testimony Part 1. Okay, understood. Yeah, that's the most recent save. Oh, excuse me. Right, let's jump in. So apparently the prosecutor has a gambit. Does that mean he has a Frenchman with cards? Concerning. What? By the way, when do we get to punch Eustace? Do we get to, like, punch him? Do we just get to knock him the fuck out? That would be amazing. The test results have just come in, sir. Traces of ubiquitous were found in the teapot. They were? Just like Mr. Edgeworth said. Curse you! You better not think this means you beat me. You really need to drop this obsession with coming in first, Mr. Winner. We're all on the same side here, remember? We're all trying to get to the truth. What? But first is best. Everybody knows it's better to be a winner than a loser. Oh my god, he's baby Donald Trump. Oh my fucking god. That's really no way for a prosecutor to think. Not a successful one, anyway. But I... Uh-oh. Enough. Mr. Edgeworth, please refrain from taunting the boy. Ignore him, Eustace. He isn't worthy of your attention. Hey, Hades, welcome back. How we doing? Hope you're having a good one. Well, oh, right. Why don't I take care of things here for now? Did I see that Elon Musk got bullied to heck during a PoE livestream? I did not, but I'm glad to hear it. Any time that guy gets dunked on is a good day. I think I heard, like, he'd been smurfing. And that doesn't surprise me at all, because he's very much the sort of person to just ride on the coattails of everyone else's hard work and then claim that he's, like, Billy Big Balls. Claimed he was the fourth best player on it, wanted to back up, and he died on the tutorial boss. Oh my god. Like, the first time I ever played Monster Hunter, right, was World. The first time I played Monster Hunter was Monster Hunter World. And I remember doing the quest where you have to take on Great Jagras, right? Did I die to Great Jagras? No, because I learned how to play the game. Because it taught me how to play the game. And I listened to it. And I didn't do great compared to subsequent. I didn't cart at all. But, like, he knocked me about a bit. But did I die? Fuck no. Dying on the tutorial boss. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. He's got a really tiny penis as well. In the meantime, you can perform the far more important task of going and checking on the victim. Oh, yeah, good idea. I'll be right back. Excellent. We shall see you shortly then. Mr. Winner's annoying, but totally harmless. Judge Gavell, on the other hand. Now... Miss Bound, perhaps you could explain why traces of ubiquitous were found in your teapots. I had no idea there was anything like that in there. Perhaps it's one of the ingredients in the dishwashing soap I use? So you are telling the court that you did not intentionally put ubiquitous in the teapots? Yeah, exactly. Why would I? Until today, I had no idea that it could even be used to make poison gas. Objection! You're a trained actress, are you not, Miss Bound? I'd have thought you would have been a more convincing liar. What do you mean? You have access to the Ultimate Cookbook, correct? A book that just happens to contain instructions on how to create poison gas used in the attack. Meaning it's perfectly possible for you to know exactly how to make it. Uh-oh. You're very well informed, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Bound, is what Mr. Edgeworth said true? The book does contain information on how to make the poison gas, yeah. but the fact I have seen it does make me guilty. Can I ask exactly how the gas was triggered? The victim used a blowtorch to heat the lid of one of the display cases, thereby melting the ubiquium. Huh, I see. But he locked himself in the room too, didn't he? Surely then the fact that he triggered it himself. Wouldn't it point to him being a suicide attempt? Uh-oh. Why would the book contain info on how to make poison gas? Is it the Anarchist Cookbook? Kind of, yeah. I think they said something like, it's a book of pharmaceutical stuff, and like, I mean, technically, what is chemical warfare if not spicy pharmaceuticals, you know? So she's not willing to admit to anything. Furthermore, where would I have gotten hold of the Infesticide Ultra? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps you stole it? You know, I did bump into Moody Judy a week or so ago, and that very evening I noticed my Infesticide Ultra had gone missing. Judy, surely you didn't. Delicia, you carry your bag of pharmaceuticals with you everywhere, don't you? There would have been any number of opportunities for someone other than myself to steal it from you. That's true, and I don't have any hard evidence that it definitely was Miss Bound who stole it. Jude, there's clearly something you're not telling us. Why don't you just come clean, huh? We all know you'd never hurt somebody for no reason, so... Not you too. You think I'm guilty as well, Mr. Fender? Can you blame me? We got one wing disguised as another, a gas trap in one of the display cases, and you're the proprietor of the establishment. It's looking a lot like you did it, kiddo. You got this all wrong. You have to remember, the gallery doesn't have any security cameras nor any security personnel. If some ill-intentioned person or another wants to get in undetected, I don't think they'd have much of a problem. Wow, you're practically asking to be burglarized. You need to be more careful. A great thief could have had a field day in here. Excuse me. And I don't think she's joking. And actually, it seems that Mr. Gusto did in fact enter the gallery before it opened. Sheesh. Judy's one tough cookie. She's not budging an inch. Ah, maybe it's time to rock a little technique Gregory taught me back in the day. And what technique might that be? He's going to absolutely Roger her. So hear me out. Yeah, I was right. Everything's connected to what happened 18 years back, yeah? And since we're not getting anywhere by focusing only on the here and now, maybe we ought to approach this from a different angle and look for past clues instead. A turnabout in thinking, so my father used this method as well. Alright, let's run this through the old Thinkertron. How was Jude's involved in what happened back then? Oh, this is Greggy Pegleg's theme. Nice. It's pretty good. According to Miss Bound, it was because of her that Mr. Frost's flavoured ice sculptures melted. And yet his sculptures are here on display at this very gallery today. Is it possible that she... Thank you, Fender. I think I know what I need to ask Miss Bound now. Ha! Don't thank me, thank your pops. Now take it away, Mousy. I'll grab the popcorn. Miss Bound, you say that you were the one who caused Mr. Frost's creations to melt 18 years ago, correct? I'm afraid so. I was young and foolish, and it was a terrible accident. And yet, what you did allowed you to open this exhibit, no? What do you mean? Yes, what do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? If you're going to ask such questions, perhaps a formal testimony from Miss Bound might be best. Yes, perhaps it might. I'd like to know a little more about Zodiac Hall. And about why Miss Bound decided to dedicate this space to Mr. Frost's works. Very well. If you believe it to be relevant to the case, I will allow it. Miss Bound, would you mind? Not at all. I'll do whatever it takes to prove that I'm innocent. Then please, if you would give us some background on Zodiac Hall and the pieces on display here. Oh, by the way, guys, I submitted my auditions for DeLoco and Baltor for the Skies of Arcadia fandom project. Stiff competition. I will not be upset if I don't get the parts, because I'm in there with like people who actually voice act and get paid for it. If I get any part at all, I'll be very pleased. Even having like a bit part for, you know, just some background soldiers, just like, yeah, this is neat. This is pretty cool. Yeah, let's see how it goes, huh? Let's see how it goes. I mean, I'm not expecting anything, because the moment you expect something is the moment it's just like, well, everything could go, you know, horribly wrong at this point. But, you know, if I don't get it, I'll be very interested to see who does and what they do with the characters, because I had very set ideas. Like, I don't remember how I did Baltor in my Stream of Skies, but for the audition, I did him as like a gruff, angry Scotsman who could only spare 3 Marines. No more, no less. 3 is all the Marines you can have, and the number of Marines you can have shall be 3. And then I did DeLoco as just like a jabbering, insane motherfucker, which, you know, I think that kind of fits. Anyhow. Here we go. It took 18 years, but at long last, I was finally able to buy Samson's home back a little while ago. But a place like this is expensive to maintain, so I decided to turn it into an art gallery. To that end, I collected as many Paul Halik pieces as I could from around the world. Because, if I'm honest, it's always been something of a dream of mine to open a space dedicated to his work. My DeLoco voice impression is always exceptional. Oh, thank you. I do try. I do try. And, like, the fact that the one I went for was kind of a variation on the Luke at me voice. You know, we took this voice, and then we kind of sunk it into the back of the throat. And then we kind of injected a little bit of madness into it. Yeah. It's a fun voice to do. Thank you for your testimony, Miss Bound. How wonderful it is that you were able to fulfill your dream. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, everything seems entirely above board to me. Judge Gavell, that was simply the witness's preliminary statement. As you surely know, the value of the testimony cannot be evaluated without due cross-examination. Wouldn't turning the house into an art gallery increase the upkeep costs? I mean, yes, because you then have to also pay for public liability insurance, like, for a start. And that's notwithstanding the fact you'd then have to deal with the maintenance of the exhibits, you know. So, yeah, I mean, the upkeep costs would go quite considerably up, actually. Huh. Spoken like a true attorney. Very well. You may do what you must. What's Gavell's deal? Why is she subservient to some fucking punk-ass baby prosecutor? She's a judge. Something fucky going on here. Wait. Uh-oh. I know what's going on. I know what's going on. I've worked it out. I've worked it out. There's going to be someone who appears, and they're going to be like this. The game. I'm sorry. No, but there's got to be like a Damon Gant figure in the background who's pulling her strings. Like, why else would a judge... Ah! Oh. Damn. Okay.
Hold it!
Hold it! 18 years. You must have gone through a lot to buy it back, Miss Bound. This home. This place. Such memories abound. I couldn't stand to lose what I had found. Stop fucking singing. Samson, I did what I had to do. To see that home was somewhere I could poo. Oh, I mean, was waiting here for you. How does she make it look so easy? I'll say, but I wouldn't expect any less from a trained triple threat performer. If you could continue with your testimony, Miss Bound, minus the singing, if you please. You know, that's actually something that I have a bit of a skill in. It's like freestyling. Like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but someone posted, I don't know if you've seen this, Ara, but someone has made Michael Jackson in Monster Hunter Wilds. Like, they made their character look like Michael Jackson. Hang on, let me get the image. I'll Discord it to you. Hold on. There. I've sent it to you on Discord. And, like, I sent that picture to one of my mates, and let me just pull the headphone volume down a bit. And I just kind of made this up on the spot, where I went to him and I said, I was browsing on the Facebook with a page of Monster Hunter. I saw posted there a video. It was left there by a punter. And it gave me quite a chortle. A guffaw that filled the whole room. And now I share it on Messenger. When you see it, it is your doom. And he's just like, he's like, Shinsu, what the fuck, man? What? How long did it take you to come up with that? And I was like, I made it up as I went along. And it took about 20 seconds to type it all out. There's something wrong with my brain. You wish you could send me flowers for the improv. Yeah. When you have an understanding of rhythm and language together, it's very easy to freestyle. You just need to know words, and like once you know the cadence of something and how many syllables a word has, and you know a lot of words, it's very easy to do. Okay, back to Ace Attorney. Away from Michael. Chee.
Hold it.
Laji, are you okay? Yeah, he came back and his response was, Alma, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Alma? And my response was, yeah, she's fine. You managed the gallery by yourself, Miss Bound. Yeah, well, we only opened today, so I haven't done much actual managing yet, but I have to get the mansion going. Can't have it falling down around my ears. Sam's gonna come home any day, after all. So she really got the house back for him. I'm so sorry, Judy. I wish I could have done more. Oh, you've done plenty, Mr. Fender. If anyone should have done more, it's me. Even if the only thing I can do right now is to keep this place safe for Samson. Okay.
Hold it!
Paul Halik. That was Mr. Frost's pseudonym, correct? Yeah, he adopted it while he was working as a sculptor in France. I see. I'm curious about some of the pieces in your collection. More specifically, how you were able to acquire the Taurus and Gemini sculptures. It was my understanding that Mr. Frost died before he could complete them. I said Taurus. I've been watching Fairy Tail again, and you know, that I think that's kind of seeped into my pronunciation a bit there. I quite like Fairy Tail. It's fun. I got kind of bored of One Piece because all the characters look really kind of gonk. You know, the way they're drawn with those massive mouths that are like twice the size of their head. It's like, I don't know. I don't really dig that. But then Fairy Tail, actually, it's kind of grounded. And also, Ezra could kill me. You know, I'm into that. Yeah, I was able to create replicas for the Winter Wing based on photos of the sculptures he made. Really? Perhaps you could go into some more detail on that. Okay. I was able to create replicas of the Winter Wing based on photos of the sculptures he made. Okay, let's press here. These photos you mentioned, you mean the ones you yourself took in Mr. Frost's room 18 years ago? Yeah, you certainly know a lot about what happened back then, Mr. Edgeworth. So those statues in the windscreen were just copies. I didn't even get to see them before they melted. No, the sculptures in question were definitely not replicas. Which means that Miss Bound is lying. I know. It's such an awful shame. And after we went into the trouble to recreate them too. The sculptures in the windscreen weren't replicas. They're the very ones from 18 years ago. I need to show her I'm aware of that, or I'll never get to the truth. Okay. Right. Give me a second. Just need to stretch my legs a minute. Give me a moment, guys. Oh, God, that's my legs have been not great lately. Also, I was going to pop a lozenge. Like, even though my voice has been a lot stronger lately, it's still struggling a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we need to show that we know that statues made by those, matching those made by the victim 18 years ago. So, Capricorn, this is Capricorn and Gemini, right? That's Pisces. Is this Pisces? No, this isn't Pisces. This is Gemini, isn't it? Used by Frost to transport ice 18 years ago, the top of the platform is wet. The top of the platform being wet feels relevant. Okay, yeah, winter is Taurus and Gemini. Okay. You're a Leo. I'm a Scorpio. Look, it's me. Yippee! Yeah, I am a Scorpio. Abby. Wait, no, that's wrong. Scorpio's not the hairdresser. I messed up my celestial spirits. Well, that's not great. I've got to do myself now. Hold on. I brought this on myself. Okay. Excuse me. So we have to... I could have asked you would have pelted me yourself. Uh-oh. I think I'm safe here. Okay. I'm safe, okay. For now. Sketches depicting exactly what Larry saw. See, the top of this platform being wet strikes me, but I'm not confident in this. So we've got all of these. That doesn't prove the statues were the same. Yeah, that's the problem. A sketch depicting the Pisces statue exactly as you saw it, but the Pisces statue was in the Autumn Wing. But we thought the Autumn Wing was the Winter Wing. Can I run through all the evidence we've got? Badge. Blowtorch. Luminous cloth. IS-7 file. The gallery pamphlet. Larry's sketch of Pisces. Poison gas ingredients. Winter Wing photo. The Ultimate Cookbook. The teapot. Larry's sketches. The finger marks on the chocolate frame. The salt lamp. The Gemini case analysis results. Oh, hang on. Wait. Sugar composition matches that of sugar found in the pale blue liquid in Artie Frost room 18 years ago. Sugar detected in fountain water also seems to be a match. This seems to be the one, huh? This seems to be the one. Do we try it? I'll try it. There we go. Thank you for pointing out I should run through everything again and turn about my thinking. I'm afraid you've run out of road, Miss Bound. You can lie all you like, but you can't deny the results of the test conducted on the sculpture's remains. You kept not seeing the one the wiki was mentioning. You were about to get really angry. Which one was the wiki mentioning? Was it the testimony? Because I was like completely glossing over that. That one. Ah, I see. And those tests leave no room for ambiguity. What you had on display weren't replicas. They were the very statues Mr. Frost carved 18 years ago. Oh, I can probably help explain how they worked it out if you like, dear. It's the sugar, you see. You might think sugar is sugar, but the composition's actually very unique. You could probably recreate the statues, but the sweet secret of their chemical makeup, no chance. Yeah, thank you, Miss Scott. I don't recall asking for her help, but still. Uh-oh. To put it simply, The statues didn't disappear back then because they'd melted. They disappeared because you spirited them away and kept them hidden for these 18 long years. Ah! What? She kept a pair of flavoured ice sculptures around somewhere for all that time? Well, it's not the most out of the idea in the world, assuming you had a big enough icebox. Quiet, all of you. Miss Bound, have you anything to say in your defence? See, you've already learned that much. Should I take that to mean you admit to having hidden the flavoured ice sculptures in question? No, I admit to no such thing. You haven't proven that I was the one who took those statues away. And you won't, because it would have been impossible for me to do so in the first place. The police were already here when they disappeared. How could I have done it without them noticing? Huh, how indeed. I don't yet know exactly how you did it, but I'm far from ready to say that it was impossible for you to have stolen them away. You're a very persistent man, aren't you, Mr. Edgeworth? How did she move the damn things to the fridge or icebox? Wait. Wait. She just put a tablecloth over it. She just put a tablecloth over the case and lay it sideways. I am indeed, and I won't stop until I get to the truth. I see. Then I better tell you exactly what I did that day 18 years ago. Okay. The whole time before judging began, I was waiting upstairs in our living area on standby. During the judging, I had to go change the camera's film cartridge for Samson. But before I could take the camera back to Samson, I discovered Mr. Frost's body. Later, around when your father arrived, I began to make the rounds to serve tea to everybody present. That was when I saw Mr. Gusto entering Mr. Frost's room. Oh, I see. And those were my movements on the day it all happened. I hardly see how you could take issue with any of that. You wouldn't have considered that to be possible. You don't know how much these things weigh. That's a good point, actually, because ice has... ice actually is pretty heavy. Like, when it's densely frozen, it's heavy. But if there's a pulley system, that would work. That's for us to decide, Miss Bound. Oh, give me a second as the sun's coming in. Hold on. Oh my god, that's so bright. Oh, jeez. Sunlight mother hated. Hey, Zach, how we doing, man? All good here, how about you? Hope you're having a good one. Welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Excuse me, The Adventures of Greggy Pegleg. Yeah, he will use his leg to peg, and then he will peg the egg. Are you saying there's a contradiction in the story, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm more focused on proving the fact that she did indeed steal those statues. As water freezes, it loses density, so the statues will be lighter than a similar volume of liquid water. Oh, okay. It's neat to know some actual science, where I just have brain injury and don't know science. All I know is fart, poo, and cry. The question is, when would she have had the opportunity to do so? If I can pinpoint that, I might be able to prove what exactly she got up to. Okay. You're a software engineer, so chemistry isn't really part of your skill set. See, you say that, but what happens to software engineers? They go to a cafe, right? And then a big red guy puts chemistry in their tea. You'll have prepared for this, won't you? Won't you? I know you have.
Hold it!
And what were you doing while you were waiting? I was in my room practicing some dance routines. Okay. I was on a TV show called Bacon Bob with Samson, you see. Bacon Bob? What kind of show was it? It's a show where they make bacon and bop. It was a children's show. The two of them... Oh, wrong voice. It was a children's show. The two of them would sing and dance as they made a variety of sweets. Wow, that sounds awesome. Hold the phone. Miles, you used to watch it? My father introduced me to it. I may have watched an episode or two. So Miss Bound passed the time before the judging began by practicing her dance routines. You know what I've just realised, right? You know, I just realised, Miles Edgeworth's a fucking weeb. Miles Edgeworth is a fucking weeb. Like, he's just like... Gregory made good on his promise to introduce Miles to Bacon Bop. Yeah. Was this the moment Miss Bound stole the sculptures? I don't think it was. This is nasty. Oh, you're a software engineer too. Oh, I think you mentioned it actually, Zach. I think you mentioned it before, yeah. This can't have been the moment that she did it. I'd better listen carefully to what she says. Okay.
Hold it!
Were you the only one who was able to move around freely during the judging? Well, I wouldn't say freely exactly, but I was able to move around more easily than the contestants, yeah. You're not at risk until you commit to it at the moment. That seems the way, yeah. Even so. I could hardly have spirited the scopes to where Samson was standing right there, could I? And I ran straight off to change the film as soon as he asked me. I wouldn't have had time. So changing the film and the camera is requested by Mr. Tangaroa? Don't think so. That can't have been the moment she did it. I'd better listen carefully to what she says. Okay.
Hold it!
Hold it! You entered the room containing Mr. Tangaroa's work before bringing the camera back to him, correct? Yeah. I heard the sound of something collapsing. Samson, you in here? Ah! The sound of the chocolate chip falling over after a certain someone took a bite out of one of the supports. And Mr. Tangaroa was still in Mr. Gusto's room when he found the body. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that was the case. He was judging each room in order, and he liked to take his time. So the point at which he discovered Mr. Frost's body... No, because it's the wrong room. Okay.
Hold it!
Just as you did today. All of what happened in the first trilogy can be traced back to a dessert-making competition. Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? Just remember DL6, alright, guys? Remember DL6. Yeah, I went around and offered everyone working in the investigation a cup of tea. Present company included. I remember it well. You were here, there, upstairs, downstairs, everywhere with that little card of yours. Interesting. And did anything strike you as strange around that time? Oh yeah, Gregory was singing the praises of Judy's tea, and I think he mentioned his saucer was cold. I told you! I told you! His saucer was cold. I fucking called it! That's one of the ice sculptures! She's just put a fucking tablecloth over it. That's one of the sculptures. Was this the moment when Miss Bound stole the sculptures? I'm gonna fucking go for it. I feel galaxy brain as fuck right now. I feel incredibly smart. I feel so intelligent right now. If this backfires, then I'm gonna just like die. Miss Bound, I believe this was when you stole the sculptures. I hate to contradict you, but the fountain room was full of witnesses at that point, Mr. Fender included. Are you suggesting I somehow got the sculptures out of Mr. Frost's room right under everyone's noses? That is precisely what I'm suggesting. Miss Bound stole those ice sculptures, and she did it by hiding them here.
Take that!
My father and Fender had no idea that one of the sculptures was mere inches away from them. Because it wasn't just a tea set you were pushing around, Miss Bound, but a hidden ice sculpture in a glass case. Ah!
Overruled.
Have we interviewed the stout woman yet? Not yet. Not yet. Not this time round. I mean, we might be able to interview her later, though, Zach. Surely such a thing would have been impossible. How would a case of that size fit in a serving cart? It would have been spotted immediately.
Objection!
I'm amazed that I picked up on this. Who said anything about a serving cart? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Edgeworth. What are you suggesting she used instead? I'm suggesting that Miss Bound used this to transport the sculptures.
Take that!
And this is the cart that Miss Bound used to move the flavoured ice sculptures out of Mr. Frost's room 18 years ago. And it would appear that the very same cart is still here with us in the fountain room. We originally bought it for use in the contest. And you're saying that Miss Bound loaded Mr. Frost sculptures onto this cart and carried them off? I am. I fucking called it! I fucking called it, guys. Amazing. Like, I accidentally stumbled on, like, how's she moving these ice sculptures around? And I just remembered Larry's picture of her just, like, pushing something around. It's like, that looks oddly square for a serving cart. I've done it again. I'm sorry, guys. I've done it again. As you could imagine, all one would need to do is lay a case on its side, add a tablecloth, and it would look exactly like a normal serving cart, thus allowing her to move the sculptures around freely. I cooked! Hell yeah! Can it be? Holy moly! Of course! That's why those sauces were so chilly. They were sitting on top of a big block of ice. Dudes, how could you? Impressive. Then again, you are Mr. Gregory Edgeworth's son. I should have expected no less. There isn't a scrap of evidence that I stole the sculptures all those years ago now. And yet, I knew that no matter what I said or did, I'd always be under a cloud of suspicion. So you admit it. Excuse me. You admit that you stole them from Mr. Frost's room. Yeah, I do. I took those sculptures in their glass case out of that room 18 years ago. As Mr. Edgeworth correctly deduced, I dressed up the lift cart as a servant cart to do it. And slipped in and out of Mr. Frost's room while I was going around serving tea to everybody. In the end, I'd removed not only the sculptures, the flavoured ice zodiac blocks as well. Yoink! Ice is 10% less dense than liquid water, and also the glass case when it contains air. Don't know how light it'd be. See, it depends on the lift cart, because if the lift cart goes upwards, like at a 90 degree arc, and then secures onto the side of the glass panel and then lowers itself back down, that could explain it. Zodiac blocks. I feel like I've seen them for myself before. There's a huge block of ice on display here. It must be incredibly heavy, though maybe not, what with it being hollow on the inside. If the Winterwing really is an exact replica of Mr. Frost's room from 18 years ago, then even though my father never saw them because they'd already melted, the Zodiac blocks must have been in the victim's room back then as well. When I finished moving the two ice cups and the Zodiac blocks out, I took two fresh empty cases to Mr. Frost's room and put them where the original two had been. Only the sculptures had been kept in glass cases, you see, to prevent them from being damaged. The blocks were a little more robust, so they had been displayed as is. As stated in the contest rules, we were responsible for providing all display materials, including cases, meaning it would have been easy for her to prepare those empty spares she swapped in. Mr. Frost's room contained quite a few other flavoured iceworks in progress. Okay. I figured if I melted them down somehow, the resulting puddle would look like it came from the sculptures. Okay. And that's how the sculptures from 18 years ago came to be in the winter wing today. I have to say, Mr. Edgeworth, that's quite the confession. Indeed. And I think she offered it so willingly because she knows there's nothing we can do with it. That's all I have to tell you. However, despite everything I've shared, you can't charge me with anything now, can you? What? How'd you figure that? Oh my. I would have thought you might know at least this much, given we're at a crime scene. I suggest you memorize the various statutes of limitations outlined in this book. Statutes for dummies. Amazing. Statutes of what? Simply put, K. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at it. Japanophonian Statutes of Limitations. Theft is 7 years from the date of the crime. Separate time frames applied with regards to claims for damages. Murder is 15 years from the date of the crime. Statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country. And the statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial. Okay. The fact a great thief doesn't know about statutes of limitation. Yeah. Statutes for the statues. Prosecutors only have a certain amount of time within which they can put a suspect on trial for a given crime. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Oh, it's going to show me anyway. So it's different for every crime. Murder, 15 years. Theft, 7 years. Ah! Yes. Miss Brown stole the ice sculptures. 18 years ago. So it's too late to have her arrested for that crime. I don't believe it. Theft is a serious matter, especially when it involves the removal of evidence from a crime scene. However, as you yourself just pointed out, Miss Brown can no longer be prosecuted for her crime. What was her motive? Why bother pulling that off? She doesn't bother at amount of tomfoolery, yeah. See, I wonder if it's a preservation thing, you know? Like preserving the guy's work or something like that. Rendering your revelation rather pointless, wouldn't you say, Mr. Edgeworth?
Objection!
Huh. I wouldn't be so sure about that. In most jurisdictions, some could probably sue to have specific items returned. I don't know, to be honest. I'm not read on criminal law. I'm read on civil, so I genuinely wouldn't want to say, because I have no grounding in that sector. The two tracks are very, very different in English law. For you see, the theft of the ice sculptures isn't my principal interest here. I find the body that reappeared 18 years after the theft to be of considerably more interest. Are you suggesting that I also hid Mr. Frost's body? I am indeed. But how do you keep a body hidden for 18 years without anybody finding it? By hiding it in a very unusual way. Ooh, now this is interesting. We're teaching Kay how to hide bodies. This is going to be a life lesson that she's going to take with her for the rest of her days, right? Dear Kay Faraday, here is how you hide a corpse. 101. Are you telling me that you know where the body has been for all this time, Mr. Edgeworth? It's not such a big leap if you think about what Miss Brown has told us already. Let's just say it wasn't just flavoured ice that you removed from Mr. Frost's room back then. Very well. If you are confident in this claim, let us put it to the test. Tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, where exactly was Mr. Frost's body hidden? It's in the chocolate. It's in the chocolate. She Willy Wonkaed him. She Willy Wonkaed him. Artie Frost. Artie Frost. You won't say Prost because you're dead. A7 first, Kay did it. We can't prove it because Edgeworth taught her too well, but she 100% did it. Yeah. Amazing. So where is the body? Now. The body's in one of the sculptures, isn't it? Where exactly was Mr. Frost's body hidden? In the teapot. Try the wind swing first and see from there. Yeah, I think it was kept in the statues. Like, I think what she's probably done is...
Take that!
A photograph of Mr. Frost's works. And of the victim's body, Your Honor. You will have to forgive me, but I don't see what you mean. Where exactly in this photograph is Mr. Frost's body? I think it's here. I think it's here.
Take that!
The Gemini sculpture. Yes, it may look like a sculpture at first glance, but it is in fact Mr. Frost's corpse. Surely you can't be serious. I don't see anything in the photograph to support such a wild claim.
Objection!
That's because a certain piece of evidence was used to hide the body in plain sight. And what piece of evidence might that be? You're serious and don't call you Shirley? Okay. How about this then? Lucy, I'm home. How about now? Will you let me out? Will you let me out? I am not Lucy. Oh, come on, I'm fine. I'm back to being myself. Just opened up. I cannot be certain you're back to being yourself. You referred to me as Lucy. It's a Stargate SG-1 joke. If you know Chris Judge, who voices Kratos now, he plays Teal'c in SG-1, and his dry humour is just fucking on point throughout the entire runtime of every season of that show. Like, he's fantastic in it. This is what was used to conceal the body.
Take that!
One of the plots from In the Awesome Way. Yes, when it's made to glow in just the right way, it's so visually convincing you might mistake it for ice. Isn't that right, Miss Scott?
Well, yes, dear, but you can make it look just like about anything, really, even blazing fire. And the right shade of blue will make it look like ice. Yeah, exactly like it, in fact.
Overruled.
Is it not the case that a certain special device is needed to generate those colours, though?
Objection!
If you would care to take another look at the photograph of the Winterwing, Your Honour, you'll notice there is a small box connected to the bottom of the Gemini display case. That's one of the very light-emitting devices in question. Detective Gumshoe even confirmed its presence. In fact, this particular device went missing 18 years ago. Back then, it was no doubt firmly connected to the cloth inside the display case. Which means Miss Bound had no choice but to take it with her when she removed the sculpture. How morbid? I just saw your point on corpse removal 101, Zach. Never use your own car trunk boot if you can help it. Precisely. Thank you for swinging by, though. Have a good rest of your day, and I might see you tomorrow for some Monster Hunter, maybe. If not, enjoy your weekend. Take lots of care, and may Texas bring to you oil and horses. I think that's what comes out of Texas. Wait, hang on. If Texas produces oil and horses, does that not mean that you could feasibly raise an Uma Musume powered by gasoline there? We need to do some science, chat. We need to do some science. Prepare a second set of clothes and burn the first set once you're done. There's an easy way to deal with the corpse error. Eat it. You know, just eat it. Just cannibalize it. Just, you know, just rub a little bit of spice into the flesh. You know, cook it over a low heat until it's ever so slightly crispy. Just a tiny bit of glaze. Yes. The issue of eating is that you still leave evidence. Well, yeah, that's true. So you see, this cloth and the light-emitting device were being used to create the illusion that Mr. Frost's body was in fact a statue carved from ice. No, this can't be. You want one of those mech horses from Vampire Hunter D? Ooh, that'd be kind of neat. That'd be kind of neat. Wait, so you're telling me that when we took that photo of us in the Winterwing? Yes, we were standing right in front of the body. But the body and the cloth were both recovered from the fountain. Why were they found there if the body was supposed to be in the Winterwing disguised as a sculpture?
Objection!
Because there would have been no mystery as to how the body had been hidden if we'd found it as it is. Miss Bound needs to remove Mr. Frost from the Winterwing in order to throw us off the scent.
Overruled!
Ridiculous. I don't recall her sneaking around behind our backs to throw a body in the fountain. No, and she didn't need to, because she had another method at her disposal. Her trusty lift card, the same card that had proved so useful in executing her original theft.
Ah!
I believe she wheeled the body into one of the other wings and floated it down the stream to the fountain. The frozen body, being quite solid, probably got stuck somewhere along the way, which is why only the cloth appeared at first. The cloth Miss Scott discovered. And then the body followed afterwards once it had thawed enough. Down, down, down by the river. Why not, I mean, you could go a different route with that one, right? Hold on. Was it this one? I'm just having a quick look, yeah. In our own creepy world, there's a girl, and she's down by the river. It's time to consider that baby is a sinner. She'll wash away your sins and go home. If you recognise the song, well done to you.
It's an ingenious theory, Mr. Edgeworth. But can you prove that it was me? It seems a little unfair to expect me to accept your accusations without proof, don't you think? What about an eyewitness? Do you think someone might have spotted her when she was moving the body?
As a matter of fact, I do. And the contradiction in the piece of evidence I was provided will shed light on exactly how Miss Bound moved the body as well.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any evidence to support your allegation?
Of course, I have a piece of very compelling proof right here. He's fucking done it again. How? How? I don't understand how this has happened twice. Larry the Goat, yeah.
Then please present it to the courts. What evidence do you have that proves Miss Bound acted as you claim?
He smells and yet he's helping. Yeah.
Take that!
More drawings. And is that me?
Yes, Mr. Butts drew sketches of people as they passed through the fountain room. But what I'm interested in is the cart we can see here.
Miss Bound's serving cart. What about it?
Rule 1 for getting away with murder, make sure one of the victims is Larry Butts. Yeah, otherwise he'll just get you. Ha! You don't see it. She's using the same trick she used 18 years ago. Ergo, we know that Miss Bound was busy moving Mr. Frost's body when this picture was being drawn.
What? If I may, I don't see Mr. Frost's body anywhere in that sketch. All I see is a picture of me delivering chocolates to everyone.
Really? Then allow me to direct your attention to the colour of the tablecloth, Miss Bound. I'd originally thought that Mr. Butts had made an error, but he assured me that couldn't possibly be the case.
This tablecloth appears to be light blue.
Yes, a shade of tablecloth that Miss Bound doesn't seem to own. The cloth only appears to be light blue due to the body hiding just underneath.
But the shape of the cart is perfectly rectangular, just as one would expect. Surely it would be immediately obvious if the tablecloth was being directly draped over the body.
Objection!
Not if the body had been placed inside one of the hollow zodiac blocks in the winter wing. Place one of those on the lift cart and it'd easily pass muster as a regular serving cart, wouldn't you agree?
Goddess of justice!
Miss Bound, surely now you must admit that it was you who moved the body, just as you did 18 years ago.
I didn't expect you to deduce all that just from a single simple sketch. But that sketch alone isn't really enough to prove your theory, is it?
Ha! You needn't worry on that front. My case doesn't rest solely on Mr. Butts' artwork. Uh-oh. Once you had disposed of the body, your serving cart became a simple lift cart once more, which is exactly what we discovered here in the fountain room. And without a serving cart, you had to find someplace to put your chocolates.
My chocolates? The ones I was handing out?
As we saw in the sketch, you had originally placed them on top of the cart, but the chocolates you gave us came from your pockets.
Oh yeah, mine was half melted. It was still super sweet and tasty though.
Why did you suddenly feel the need to put the chocolates in your pocket, Miss Bound? The colour issue again. Yeah. Oh wait, hang on, they're saying that... I just remembered, yeah, the white tablecloth. Hold on. Yeah. Nerves of steel to pull something that complex. It's Ace Attorney, of course she does. It was because you no longer had a serving card to put them on, that's why. Ah. One moment, please. You have explained what Miss Bound did with the chocolates in the lift carts. But, what about the tablecloth? Where did it go? Indeed. If she is stashing the chocolates in her pocket was... if stashing the chocolates in her pocket was the only solution she could think of, I doubt Miss Bound had time to dispose of an entire tablecloth. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have an answer for me? Miss Bound didn't hide or dispose of the tablecloth, Your Honour. In fact, it's right here in front of us. Perhaps you wouldn't care to enlighten us. Where exactly is the tablecloth Miss Bound used to hide the body? In the fountain? Not in this room? On Miss Bound's person? Oh. Okay. Yeah, I think a save here. My gut is drawn towards on her person. Like, maybe she's wearing it as an apron or something. Save Scum Kyo says in due and proper form. Hell yeah. Miss Bound has the tablecloth on her person. And in plain view, in fact. Oh, fucking hell, I was right. No, look, that's white. That's white. That is white. W-H-I-T-E. Light blue, my fucking ass. You were watching another dude play EBF5 on Epic and he absolutely bodied Telperian something face. That's impressive. I haven't played that game in a long old time. I don't know where Tim went either. You know, you remember Tim who used to come through for the EBF streams. It just kind of vanished out of Discord one day. I don't know if maybe just kind of left the internet or something like that. Yeah, so I hope he's doing all right. You know, people. When you stream, you know, people kind of come and go sometimes, but it's you know, it's always a case like, you know, you hope they're doing good, you know. Thinking of games that are a bit different, I tested out my Wii setup earlier, and yeah, it's going to take a bit. I need to do a little bit more setting up before I get to the stream on Wednesday of Prime 3. Basically, I need to sit a lot further back than I thought because otherwise there's not enough space between me and the sensor. So the only other option I've got is to get like some sort of little shelf unit, put it into the back of my setup, and then put the Wii sensor on there. But then it's kind of like, well, is that going to be far back enough? I don't know. Turns out morale plus bomb immunity and frontline plus virus threats makes Telperian a complete joke. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. No, surely you don't mean... Miss Bound. It's the cloth around your waist, isn't it? And given that the Zodiac blocks weren't kept in glass cases, that cloth would have been in direct contact with the ice. All we would need to do to confirm my theory is test the cloth for traces of the sugar used in Mr. Frost's work. The game is up, Miss Bound. It's time to come clean. You won't need to test the tablecloth. Everything you said is true. I stole Delicious Infestus at Ultra, and I moved Mr. Frost's body. It was me. It was all me. Delicia, I'm so sorry. Last week I went into your bag and I took it. And then I put it in his pocket hoping to make it look like he tried to do himself in. I also made sure to leave no fingerprints but yours just in case the police suspected foul play. Judy! Oh gosh! But Judes, why? Weren't we supposed to be on the same side? All fighting together to free Samson? We were, but I couldn't afford to get arrested. Not yet. This case is the event that kicked out every event in the first trilogy. Yeah. And by extension, everything in Ace Attorney. Kind of nuts, actually, isn't it? Not until I'd finally proven that Samson is innocent. I'd always planned to give myself up in the end, I swear. I know it's easy to say that now, but why do it this way, though? It's not like you. I'm sorry, Mr. Fender. I've caused you so much trouble. I've been the guilty party all along, ever since that day 18 years ago. Are you trying to tell us that the true culprit in the IS-7 incident was you? I committed a terrible crime. I took those sculptures and I stole them for purely selfish reasons. The moment Mr. Frost died, they became more than mere entries in a confectionery contest. They became the final works of Samson's favourite artist. I couldn't allow them just to melt away, not before he came home. And that meant I couldn't let anybody near them, not even the police. So I hid them. I knew it was wrong, but I just had to. I put them in the cold storage room for safekeeping. What I'd actually done was far worse than anything I could have possibly imagined. Because who would have thought that Mr. Frost's body itself was posing as one of the sculptures? So she didn't know about the body when she stole the sculptures. Interesting. Samson's a kind man, a saint. He could never kill anybody, never. And yet, because of what I did, the police never found Mr. Frost's body, and Samson was found guilty. You know, thinking of that, I had a hella dream a few weeks back. Like, I genuinely dreamed that I was, like, serial killing someone and disposing of the body. And then I woke up, but I woke up in a cold sweat, because it was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was just kind of like, I need to get back to doing that, because otherwise the police will catch me. And then I realised, oh shit, that was just a nightmare. If Von Karma was an absolute prick, he'd have locked down the place and found the body rather than trying to hide the fact he didn't have it. Yeah. Von Karma being a prick is also a catalyst for a lot of bullshit in this series. He was the most important person in the entire world to me. And Jude's. After his conviction, I was forced out of our home. I was finally able to return only a few days ago, and when I did, I went to the cold storage room to check up on the sculptures, and that's when I saw it. Mr. Frost's body. It had been there the whole time. Of course, by that point, the statute of limitations had expired, so I did what I did today, because it was the only way I could think of to make things right. If Judy didn't hide the body, then who did? It seems I've misunderstood her intentions. Everything she's done really has all been for Mr. Tongaroa's sake. Hey, what are you thinking about, Mr. Edgeworth? Something that's been puzzling me. Why did Miss Bound use poison gas? Why not a more reliable method? And why disguise the Awesome Wing as the Winter Wing? The only reason I can think of is to confuse someone who was here 18 years ago. Yeah, I wonder what she had in mind. If she was trying to prove that Mr. Tangaroa is innocent, Miss Bound's ultimate goal must be to find the true killer. Could she have been trying to discover the identity of the true culprit? Miss Bound, your ultimate aim was to see Mr. Tangaroa cleared of all charges, correct? And to that end, you had to expose the real killer and have the police find the body from 18 years ago. Is my understanding of your intentions correct? Exhibiting the sculptures was sure to force the killer to return to the crime scene. After all, they were the only person apart from you who knew the body was hidden in their icework. So they would have freaked out thinking the body was about to be discovered and come running, yeah? Exactly. With Miss Bound ran the risk that the killer might successfully cover their tracks this time. In the worst case scenario, they might even have been able to remove Mr. Frost's body from the scene. So how could you lure the true killer into revealing themselves without putting vital evidence at risk? Oh, I see what you're getting at. You're saying that's why the Autumn Wing was all winner wingy. I am. You were betting on one thing, Miss Bound, weren't you? That whoever opened the Pisces case you had so carefully disguised as the Gemini case would be the real perpetrator of the IS-7 incident. Wait, Gusto? Hold on. This guy? He doesn't look villainous at all. No. But that would mean the real killer was...
Overruled.
Enough. Not another word. Do you realise the implications of what you're saying, Mr. Edgeworth? Are you prepared to stand behind the accusation you are clearly about to make? She pulled an Among Us.
Among Us.
Miss Bound set a trap for Mr. Frost's killer, meaning that whoever found themselves caught in that trap is highly likely to be the guilty party. But I lack the evidence to support such an assertion. To accuse someone without any evidence is not to be done lightly, so... Should I really go ahead and make my accusation and name Mr. Frost's killer nonetheless? This is a quandary. Only one way to find out. Yep. Only one way to go, and that's forwards. My ultimate goal is to see the truth exposed. And to do that, I need to seize the moment. Yes, Judge Gavell, I am prepared to stand behind my accusation. I know exactly who is to blame for the IS-7 incident.
Take that!
Mr. Gusto, the victim of the poison gas attack, is the perpetrator behind the IS-7 incident.
Gusty!
Mr. Gusto? Miss Bound. As we have established, you knew that the opening of the gallery would lure in the real culprit, and you set up the poison gas trap in order to catch them. You dispute the facts thus far. You're a very impressive man, Mr. Edgeworth. Just like your father. The real culprit's von Karma, he's already dead, we can't put him on trial. Can we dig him up and put the bones on trial? Sorry, give me a second, guys. I thought I heard something. Hold on. Give me a moment, give me a moment. Daddy's getting paranoid again, children. And of course, you're absolutely right. Then perhaps you could tell us exactly what happened in your own words. Of course. I have nothing to hide anymore. It's surprising none of the trials he presided over were retried or somehow questioned. Yeah, I'm not sure why that would be, but like I said, I'm not read on criminal law, so I could conjecture, but probably not very well. So I might as well tell you everything. Oh. What's going on? Sorry, bear with. Oh, I've got some pings. Okay. As he said, I set a trap here in the gallery to try and catch Mr. Frost's killer. Before we opened, I made sure that the door of the yard wings was the only one that was unlocked. When opening time came, I went around to unlock the doors of the various rooms, and found that the autumn wing had been locked from the inside. The killer is on the other side of the door. The thought, well, it frightened me. And then she simply walked away, leaving him to fall victim to her poison gas trap. When I heard that Mr. Gusto was being treated for gas inhalation, that's when I knew who's the murderer. All that was left was for the police to find Mr. Frost's body, and then Samson would finally be proven innocent. At least that was my plan. Too much paperwork and the convict would have to ask with retrial. Means they'd have to have von Karma's arrested for something which seems unlikely. The other thing is, like, retrials of that level, you would also be like causing massive damage to the credibility of the judicial system. So like sometimes, even if it's the right thing to do, someone might decide, actually no, we're not going to retry this one because it's not in the public interest. Which is fucked up, but... Jones, why didn't you tell me? You know I was here for you, right? We could have found another way. Didn't have to be like this. Thank you, Mr. Fenner. You've been so very kind to me all these years. But I'm the one who created this mess, so it's up to me to try and clean it up. I didn't care what it takes. As long as I can get Samson out of that awful place. Judy, Judy, Judy. 18 years ago, the police managed to cover up the fact that Mr. Frost's body had gone missing. If I went to them now and said it had reappeared, I was afraid they might have tried to cover things up again. So I worked to set off a very public incident here in the gallery in front of many witnesses as possible. I'm so sorry, Judy. Oh, bear with me a second, guys. You, Samson, Gregory, I'll let you all down. Fender, this can't be easy for him. No, I'm the one who should be apologizing. Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender, I hope one day you can forgive me. Whatever punishment I have to face, I'm ready to accept it. The police didn't do shit. Bad was pissed as hell. We have first-hand accounts. Yeah. I wonder what Bad's up to these days. Like, is there any literature that's... Hang on, I want to find out. Give me a second. Let's have a look. Like, is there anything about, like, what he's up to? Probably got fired from the police force for being part of the Yatagarasu. Probably, yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it looks like he has got some relevance further on in as well, so... But please, if I may ask one thing here, it's that you simply must clear Samson's name. Aw, she's sad. The way the truth of these past 18 years had come to light was unexpected, to say the least. And yet, it had only set us down a path towards an even more shocking end. Oh, okay. Tabasa. We'll push on. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Miss Bound, are you feeling a little calmer now? Yeah. Good. Then allow me to get to the point. Regardless of your intentions, you broke the law. Yes, I understand. Nevertheless, I understand that you did what you did in order to prove Mr. Tangaroa's innocence. Therefore, if the real culprit really is someone else, then we have a duty to reinvestigate the case.
Overruled.
There is nothing to suggest that anything nefarious took place in the official IS-7 incident records. And right now, there is nothing to suggest that we should take Miss Bound at her word either. So our first order of business should be to arrest the culprit of the case before us, Miss Bound herself.
Objection!
Official records cannot always be trusted, Judge Cavell. Especially since there are those prosecutors who would think nothing of twisting the facts.
Overruled.
Are you suggesting that the committee at the time overlooked just such a prosecutor? That's for you and your people to figure out. However, it is a fact that the autopsy report was faked. Seeing as Mr. Frost's body was only found just now... There really is something of Mr. Von Karma in you, Mr. Edgeworth. How so, exactly? By continually defying the will of the committee and bending the truth to fit your needs, that's how. Perhaps it is time you understand how no, the committee sees this case. Uh-oh. The committee is willing to accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified Mr. Frost's autopsy report. Even still, Mr. Von Karma only managed to have Mr. Tangaroa convicted as an accomplice. Which means... the statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial. So basically, the statute of limitations, when Samson was indicted as an accomplice, the statute of limitations for the murder charge was suspended, so we're still within the statute. So we can still press for this. Understood. Understood. I personally have come to believe that the real culprit behind the I-7 instance is Miss Bound. Her plan to poison and kill Mr. Gusto today was her attempt to frame him for Mr. Frost's murder. Oh, is that so? And this is how the committee sees things, is it? It is. As always, I act solely in service of law and order. It sounds to me like all she's doing is acting in service of the committee and covering up the truth. And if I can't change her mind, there will be no saving Mr. Tangaroa or Miss Bound. Okay.
Hold it!
If you accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified the report, then why won't you reinvestigate the case? Because the Goddess of Justice is never wrong. We've proven her wrong several times throughout the course of this game. What the fuck are you talking about? Her verdict remains true despite Mr. Von Karma...
Objection!
Despite blatant evidence tampering, you sure your precious goddess is into that? Almost makes you think the committee might have other reasons for not wanting this looked into again. Further investigation is simply unnecessary since the Goddess of Justice has already spoken. Is that right? The fact that Fender busted in, man. Holy shit, man.
Hold it!
I believe it was a confession that sealed Mr. Tangaroa's fate in the end. A confession secured by Mr. Von Karma, which should surely cast doubt on the final verdict itself.
Overruled!
Samson Tangaroa confessed to the initial investigating officer, one Detective Ian Seidman. The official records state that it was his interrogations that led to the conviction. Therefore, all I can say to you is that the Goddess of Justice has already spoken. Unbelievable, she just won't budge at all. Are these committee guys really that big of a deal? In many ways, they are a prosecutor's worst nightmare. Ah, so kind of like how the police are to a great thief, huh? Funny how you don't seem to have a problem working with the police when it suits you, though. See, now, hear me out, guys. Am I overcooking this? Because she's saying the committee's view... Hang on. The committee's view is we don't need to reinvestigate this. Von Karma only had Tangaroa convicted as an accomplice, but the limitations book very clearly states that if he's convicted as an accomplice, then the statute of limitations for murder is suspended, and therefore is still active, right? I kind of want to present the book to her. Am I overcooking this? Am I overcooking it, guys? You think I'm overcooking? Okay, let's keep pressing then. Are you suggesting that Mr. Tangaroa and Miss Bound killed Mr. Frost together? She's not discussing the statute of limitation there. No, I'm kind of pulling context out of what she's saying. Why not? You can even imagine they split their roles as thus. Sorry. Mr. Tangaroa could have been the one to commit the act itself, while Miss Bound was to remove the body. What? The thought that we could ever kill Mr. Frost! You stole his corpse and hid it for 18 years. Is it really so surprising that you might be considered a suspect? Miss Bound has freely confessed to all her crimes. Now is not the time to speculate about what else she might have done in the past. Very well, then let us pass judgment on what we know she did in the present. She's more refusing the committee to accept the committee failed its task rather than discussing the fact that limitation is over. Except limitation is not over. Limitation is not over. You see? That's the point I was going for. Because Tangaroa has been indicted as an accomplice, the statute for the actual murder itself is still open. It was suspended, so as soon as we have a suspect, we can reopen that and, you know, crack on.
Hold it!
Let's keep pressing. Why would Miss Bound have chosen to frame Mr. Gusto for the murder? No doubt because he suspected her of being the real culprit. He may have entered what he thought was the windswing simply to see if the Gemini statue was genuine. Little did he know that he would be greeted by a trap designed to silence him. A trap that nearly worked.
Objection!
Do you have any evidence to support that line of reasoning? Unfortunately, Mr. Gusto remains in critical condition. It will be difficult to prove anything until he regains consciousness. In other words, there is little we can do for now. On the contrary, there is plenty we can do. You still have not grasped the situation, have you? Then allow me to spell it out for you. We have all the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 incident and the poison gas attack. We have therefore determined that there is no need to investigate either case any further. Okay.
Hold it!
Keep the statute in my head, it comes up later. Understood. All the evidence you need. In the matter of the IS-7 incident, we have a body, a murder weapon, and 2 suspects. As for the poison gas attack, we have the source of the 2 chemicals and Miss Bound's confession. And as for you, Mr. Edgeworth, we also have enough evidence to see that you yourself will have to answer to the committee in a formal hearing. But, whoa, that didn't sound good. Don't worry, Mazzarino. If nothing else, you're always more than welcome at Edgeworth & Co. Ugh. Your Honour, I'd greatly appreciate it if we could stay focused on the matter at hand. Of course. Now, where was I?
Hold it!
You really mean to assert that there are no loose ends left to investigate? None at all? All of the evidence that has been examined at length, and there is nothing more to be learned from them. Therefore, I see no need to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant in this duty... Your Honour, I'm certain there's something that still needs to be examined. The hammer is about to fall, Mr. Edgeworth. Only hard evidence can stop it now. Present what you think requires further deliberation now, assuming there really is anything left, that is. This isn't over yet, not by a long shot. There's still one thing we don't have an answer to, and it's up to me to point out to Judge Gavell. So she wants Edgeworth's hard evidence. I'm sorry, Judge Gavell, but that's reserved for Phoenix Wright. That's what we call the penis of Phoenix Wright. It's hard evidence. Sometimes it's just evidence. I'm so sorry. If you believe that I'm sorry, then more fool you. Okay. We have all the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 incident and the poison gas attack. Sometimes Phoenix is just bluffing. Oh no. So there's one thing we don't have an answer to. We don't have an answer to the frame finger marks, do we? What's in the analysis results? That was the sugar. That was what we used to prove that. That was what we used to prove that the sculptures were the same. We've already answered this one, so we know what this was used for. We know about this. Hold on. Okay. That doesn't really help us. But we've answered a lot in there. We've answered a lot in there. We've answered this. We've answered what's going on here. Right? We haven't answered this. I'm going to save and I'm going to play it, because it's the only thing I can think of. But she's saying we've answered everything else, but I don't think we have. I don't think we have.
Objection!
It's not that. Okay, I'm all out of ideas then. You think this is going to be bullshit? You know what? Tell me then. You can, if you think it's going to be bullshit, then I don't mind a bit of hand-holding. What are we looking for? Go back to the analysis result, okay? Detected salt, sugar, and blood. Sugar composition matches that of sugar found in the pale blue liquid in RC Frost room 18 years ago. Sugar detected in fountain water also seems to be a match, okay? It mentions blood but doesn't say whose it is. Ha. So wait, that's obtuse as fuck.
Objection!
That is so obtuse. I'd never have gotten that in a million years. That is hugely bullshit. I'm afraid there is still one question concerning the I-7 incident that remains unanswered, Your Honor. Would you mind taking a look at this? What is it? Their test results carried out on the liquid at the bottom of the Gemini case in the Windsor wing. As you can see, traces of blood were detected. The question is, whose? Until that question is answered, I hardly think you can claim to have all the evidence. There was blood in the Gemini case. Why did I not hear about this from Eustace? Because Detective Gumshoe informed me of the results directly. I was planning to tell Mr. Winter about it myself, of course.
Overruled.
You kept this to yourself until now, despite having no jurisdiction here whatsoever. Mark my words, the committee will hear all about what you've done here today. As ever, my interest is in the truth, and if mistakes were made in the past, they must be rectified. And also because Eustace is an incompetent cretin. Yeah. You don't remember the fan translation being that obtuse? The official translation failed something? I think so, yeah, because, like, that was... I was leaning very hard towards the one thing we haven't really got an answer to is, going back to the evidence here, is whose fingerprints are these? Because we've never answered that, have we? Oh, whose fingers are these? If you must report me to the committee, then so be it. But in return, we must be allowed to investigate this case to the very end. That is not my decision to make. You will need to discuss it with Eustace. What? Guess who's back, losers, and with good news too. It was a close call for a minute there, but Carmelo Gusto is alive. Gusto? He made it. I don't remember. You would block Eustace on Discord. I would ban him. Discord mod powers, let's go. I don't remember what voice we gave this guy. But sorry, give me a minute. Old samurai voice. You're the ones who found me. Yup, long time no see, Gusto. You can't ban someone for being an idiot. Can't I? Can't I? Wait, where is it? Do I have a yandere expression? Do I? Hold on, I don't... Do I? Huh? I don't think I do with this model. No? No, I don't have a yandere expression with this one. That's fine. We can go with this. We can go with this. Okay. Yep, long time no see, Gusto. You're the attorney's assistant. You've grown, and you have an assistant of your own now. Assistant? No, I'm... Ha! He hasn't gotten the gig just yet. This is Gregory Edgeworth's son. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, at your service. Ha! Fate moves in mysterious ways. I am in your debt. If you hadn't found me in time, I wouldn't be here to thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. After all, if you hadn't lived, we wouldn't be able to ask what really happened 18 years ago. Huh? What are you talking about? We figured out quite a bit while you're out cold. Including the fact that you're probably the guy who off-poor Artie Frost. What? Is that true? Miss Bowden set up a very elaborate trap to catch Mr. Frost's murderer. A trap that involved rigging the Pisces case with poison gas. Perhaps in light of that fact, you could tell us in your own words what happened back then? Or perhaps you'd rather exercise your right to remain silent. Oh, it's not that. Gusto is a fan of the old meditation. You know, Om and all that jazz. What does that gas do exactly? How does it affect the human body? I don't know. Maybe it's ketchup gas. You know there's mustard gas. Maybe it's ketchup gas. And it fills the lungs up with ketchup until you drown. He seems to have healed back pretty easily. Yeah, he's a video game character. He stepped out of the poison gas and his health just went back up. Yeah. Oh, laughing too much makes me cough, sorry. Wow, sleeping while standing seems pretty cool. That's one heck of a talent. Except there's no sleeping involved in meditation, Kay. Hey, Gusto, old pal. How about you snap out of it and tell us what went down way back when? You can't wait for the mayonnaise gas? Yeah, I mean, I don't like mayonnaise, but I think we can make use of this. Most certainly. I've just noticed as well he's got a banana necktie. Ha! I was caught in the girl's trap, so I must be the killer? Is this your idea of a joke? I am the victim here.
Indeed you are, Mr. Gusto, and there is no evidence that you have done anything wrong yet. Mr. Edgeworth and Mr. Fender are merely speculating. Rest assured that they have no authority here, and that you may pay them no heed.
Huh. At least somebody here seems to be on my side.
Judge Verity Cavell, it's a pleasure, Mr. Gusto. I will assist you in any way you may require. Perhaps you could begin by explaining what actually happened 18 years ago to Mr. Edgeworth.
I don't like Cavell. I don't like her. Like, she does not act like a judge should. There's no impartiality. Fine. You want me to prove I'm innocent, Mr. Prosecutor? I'll be happy to.
Objection!
So this is how you mean to play it, Judge Cavell. You're hoping Mr. Gusto will help you to hide what happened instead of trying to correct the record. Wait, hang on. Oh my god. I understand now. I understand. She's grooming Eustace to be her toast slave. Oh, that's so fucked up, man. What the First it was Regina and now Eustace? Why? Ace Attorney, what are you doing?
I believe only in the infallible judgment of the goddess of justice.
Ow. Except it is us humans who make the actual judgment calls in courts of law. Ow. And as long as there are those who would use the law to their advantage, our rulings are fallible indeed. If you would use your position to further obscure the truth, then neither she nor I will forgive you.
Huh. We shall see about that.
What do you advise, Judge Cavell? You've steered the crystal ship into a collision course with the VTuber. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I pull my arm off and then I jump away. The Tacitar maneuver. And Tara Tacitar indeed. Yeah. I should get back to StarCraft 2 at some point. Have you seen that Shinri and Holostars has been playing it recently? He's just finished the Legacy of the Void campaign. That was neat. That was a neat little series.
It would seem that you were under suspicion because it was you who triggered the poison gas.
Come to me through fire and memes. Hell yeah.
Specifically, by opening the Pisces case's lid. Would you be so kind as to share why with us?
Understood. I came to see Frost's sculpture, simple as that. I made a mistake with the opening times and arrived a half hour early. Miss Bound, was there no one at the reception desk at around that time?
I had left the main entrance unguarded and unlocked just in case the killer made an appearance.
Legacy of the Void is, in your opinion, the weakest of the 4 campaigns, with Wings of Liberty and NCO is Nova Covert Ops, isn't it? Am I right with that? I don't think I played that one. Right, okay, yeah, I didn't play that one. I played all the others, though. I finished, like, the main campaign of all the other ones.
I was also busy making preparations elsewhere, all the way up until the gallery's opening. So no, there was no one here on the first floor then. But I did make sure that all the wings were locked up tight, all except for the autumn wing, that is.
I see. She did all that just to steer the culprit into the autumn wing, which is precisely where Mr. Gusto went.
Sneaking into a building's pretty suspicious, however you slice it. Silence in the courtroom.
We're not in a courtroom.
I will permit no objections or interventions unless there is some evidence that the witness is lying. The courtroom? You know this is an art gallery, right? Mr. Gusto, if you could please continue by explaining why you opened the Pisces case.
I wanted to see Frost's work up close, so I went up to the Gemini, sorry, guess it was supposed to be the Pisces statue, and I saw that the lid was frozen on tight, so I grabbed a blowtorch from nearby and tried to open it. Now! That was an interesting little slip-up. Gemini? Oh, I suppose it's Pisces. Whoops. That tells us that he knows what was in that room 18 years ago. Hehehe. When I finally got it open, gas came pouring out. Fascinating. His is the source of flawless testimony attorneys can only dream of.
Yeah, the everything sounds like a lie kind. I am none too satisfied with Mr. Gusto's explanation myself. Alas, there is no evidence to refute it. Come on, there must be something.
It's Bound's story you should be questioning, not mine. I'm not the one who set up the gas trap. She could have killed anybody with that thing.
Objection!
She turned on the sprinklers as soon as the gas was released. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was gunning for the killer and nobody else. That killer being you, old pal.
So you believe that self-confessed criminal? Miss Bound is far from blameless in this affair, and she will have to pay for her crimes. But so will Mr. Frost's killer. You seem determined to pin Frost's murder on me. But I had no reason to kill him. And you have no evidence to prove otherwise.
Can we really not prove that he's the killer, Mr. Edgeworth?
She intended to stun, not kill.
Oh, she's a phaser. Understood. Mr. Gusto fell victim to the poison gas. That much is indisputable. Yet no matter how suspicious his actions in the present may seem, they prove nothing about the past. Yeah, but then what about you, Mr. Fender? There must be something we can do. You're right. We might not have evidence, but we have plenty of intel. Let's see now. If Gusto killed Frost, he must have had a reason. He claims not to have a motive, but that can't really be true, can it? If he did it, he has one. Not many people commit murder just for fun. In fact, your old man had a little back and forth with Argama about a problem motive too, remember?
How can you possibly say that with any certainty? If their relationship had broken down for some reason. Okay. That could very well have been the motive behind this murder.
Argama wouldn't let us talk to Gusto back then, but we can now. If we can put the pieces together, I think the picture we've been looking for might just emerge.
Yes, I think you might be right. I need to think back over everything we know about the I-7 incident, especially the questions that never got answered. And the finger marks. Were you the one wearing the gloves? Miss Scott denied that the finger marks on the frame were hers. But what if they were Mr. Gusto's? Perhaps he'd wanted to take a look through the Ultimate Cookbook for himself. Hey Adam, how we doing? Welcome in, welcome in.
So he asked me to go put in a new cartridge. He seemed to think there should have been more shots left than there were.
In other words, the film ran out sooner than expected.
Yeah, the number of shots he took didn't line up with the number of shots remaining.
Okay.
But he thought maybe just left tracks somewhere along the way.
Okay. My father noticed these things for a reason. I just need to piece them together. You finished the Phoenix trilogy. Nice, nice. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Now, would you agree that Damon Gant is hot? I'm sorry. But he kind of just is. In the absence of evidence, it's the only way to the truth. Logic time. Mr. Gusto, you and Mr. Frost conspired to create works for the contest together, did you not? Ha, so you know my little secret. Mr. Fender was kind enough to inform me. Mr. Frost was in charge of the designs while you were in charge of the flavor, is that correct? Huh, what can I say? I still had a long way to travel on the road to becoming a master confectioner. But you only collaborated up through the semi-final. Something changed after that. We both wanted to show what we could do. Show that we were better than Tangaroa.
Objection!
Then why did you help Mr. Frost with his entry for the final? What grounds do you have to say that? Your own statement made to Mr. Von Karma 18 years ago. You told him that you'd been working together right up until the day before the final. He has charisma? Yeah, he's got that grandpa res, just like me. Mr. Frost's entry was carved entirely from blocks of flavoured ice. Ice which would have needed at least a day to freeze, and whose flavour would therefore have already been prepared by Mr. Gusto. Yes, which lines up perfectly with what Gusto told me. That he helped Frost until the day before the final. He brought Great Ace Attorney as well. Yeah, I've got that actually as well. I have Sausages of Justice left to do in the Apollo trilogy, and then I've got Great Ace Attorney as well. You heading out to avoid spoilers? Yeah, completely legit, man. Cheers for swinging by. Look after yourself, and hopefully see you soon. You too as well, Hades. Cheers to the hangs. Hopefully I will see you soon as well. I hope we can finish this one up tonight, because I think we must be close to the end. I think we got to be close.
I can hardly be expected to read the minds of the dead.
So why didn't Mr. Frost help you in return? I submit that your relationship broke down for some reason, and that became the basis of your motive for murder.
That's not how it was.
Last part in the case? Right, understood.
Sure, we stopped working together, but it was all perfectly friendly.
You stopped working together in a friendly way. Kind of hard to imagine, but okay.
Besides, how do you think I did it exactly? You think I just strolled into Tangaroa's room and killed Frost? I couldn't have killed the man while Tangaroa was in there working on his chocolate pieces, could I? So you see, it can't have been me.
I wouldn't be so sure. There must be a window of time when Mr. Tangaroa wasn't in his room. And if I can prove that, I can prove that Mr. Gusto had the opportunity to kill Mr. Frost. Okay. I think these go together. So, he's taken pictures of the cookbook. Photographing the cookbook's contents would be the perfect way to steal its secrets undetected. And what if Mr. Gusto did just that? What if he used Mr. Tangaroa's camera to photograph the book?
Yeah, it'd be the perfect crime. So much better than stealing it and getting chased by the cops.
A sneaky snapshot of 20, huh? That could work. The only question is, when would he have done it? Good question. What about during afternoon tea? Didn't Delicious say that Gusto and Frost had missed out on the little tea party they had? Which brings me to the next question. When do we know for certain that Mr. Frost was still alive?
Then, after the contest began, nobody saw hide nor hair of Frost as he'd secluded himself in his room. And the only person capable of entering his locked room was Tangaroa, possessing as he did the only key.
Miss Scott, were Mr. Tangaroa's works the only ones you sampled?
No, dear, I couldn't help myself. When I finished my afternoon tea, I tiptoed over to Chillywinks' room for a little taste too.
Mr. Frost had kept himself inside his room after the contest had started, but he was gone by the time Miss Scott snuck into it to sample his work. Meaning there's a good chance he was murdered before the end of afternoon tea. Okay. We can be sure that Mr. Frost was alive until the beginning of afternoon tea, making tea time the only window during which Mr. Gusto could have killed him. Are you satisfied with Mr. Gusto's story now, Mr. Edgeworth? Sadly, I'm afraid I'm still rather unsatisfied. But things are finally starting to become clear, and the truth will soon come to light at last.
Do you mean to say that you have uncovered new evidence?
Evidence? No. I was hoping I might convince Mr. Gusto to open up to us about it instead.
Oh, is it mind games time again?
It is. Mr. Gusto, I have a question for you. I said, I have a question for you.
What is it?
You chose to make your entry for the final on your own.
I told you, I wanted to test myself. I wanted to prove I was the very best, like no one ever was. To bake cakes is my real test. To raise them is my cause.
Da-da-da. We have this and 2 cross-examinations before the end of the case. Right. Yeah, we can do this one tonight, then.
Objection!
This is the longest case in the game since 2 and 1. Right, understood. How long do you think it's going to be in minutes? Like, half an hour, something like that? There we go. If that were the case, then surely you wouldn't have had to chosen to cheat in the first place. So tell me, Mr. Gusto, why did you feel the need to team up with Mr. Frost? We need to try and remember how to play mind chess now. 18 years ago, Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost collaborated in the confectionery contest. But why did they work together? Considering we have the epilogue and a whole recap of the case, it can last a bit. We'll end it at, we'll finish up tonight after the mind chess, and then we can come back to it and kind of start on the next case next time, I think. Because if it's going to go that long, I don't think my voice will cope with it, to be honest. So, Yeah, we'll get the mine chest done though, because we haven't done this for a while. That's the information I need to get out of my opponent somehow. Interesting. Mr. Gusto seems to have a habit of pretending to be asleep when things aren't going his way. Let's start by focusing on why he chose to work with Mr. Frost. By my hand, now is the time to dig up the truth that was buried all those years ago. Oh, ow. There's my spine. Begin! Mr. Gusto, what inspired you to collaborate with Mr. Frost? We were acquaintances before we were contestants. He was interested in entering the contest, so we decided to sign up together. Ha! And your decision to pair up with a sculptor had nothing to do with your lack of faith in your skills. Huh! You don't know me. We joined forces because we wanted to make the most perfect creations possible, that is all. Frost's son and mine were in the same grade at school, so we got along pretty well too. Oh, so you were just two friends who happened to try for the title of World's Greatest Confectioner? Ugh. Ha! Pretending to be asleep when the going gets tough won't work on me, I'm afraid. Mr. Frost was a sculptor, Mr. Gusto. I doubt he cared much about winning a title for confectioners. In which case, he probably had a different motive for taking part in the contest, wouldn't you say? Ugh. Fine. It was me. I wanted that title. Frost was only in it for the prize, the ultimate cookbook. I see. And since your objectives dovetailed so neatly, you decided to work together. But then something happened. A breakdown in your relationship, perhaps. If so, I want to know why. Mr. Prosecutor, I'm still quite unwell after my brush with death. Pushed me too hard. And I'll be on my way back to the medical room. No, wait. Then you'd better wrap this up quickly. I'm already dangerously low on patience. Mr. Gusto is trying desperately to make his escape, but he's not going anywhere yet. Not as long as he's still keeping things from me. So let's figure out what he was really after next. There's no time to lose. I need to pick the right line of questioning and fast. Did you want more than just the title? You two had your eye on something other than the title, didn't you? After all, I'm not sure the title of World's Greatest Confectioner even counts for that much. Huh! Now you're insulting the way of the confectioner? My goal, my only goal, was to win that title. I didn't care about anything else. You have no idea how much it would have meant to me. Bide. Look, my sense of design may not have been up to snuff back then, but you should see me now. Oh, so you've improved. You bet I have. I didn't do all that training in Shengfa for nothing. Bide. I looked up to Tanjiro, you know. Spent hours poring over the designs of his work. Even used to watch his show with my son. Sounds to me like Mr. Tanjiro's work was especially influential in your early studies. Yeah, sorry about Pog. Love to see it. And with his recipe book, you might have even become the best someday. Huh. Maybe. The book was a real treasure, no doubt about that. Any confectioner would have wanted it. Okay. He's very easy to read. Huh. You claim that your only goal was to win the title, yet you also seem to have had an interest in the contest prize, the Ultimate Cookbook. Ugh. The greatest collection of recipes by the world's greatest confectioner. I can't say I had absolutely no interest in it. And even if I did, what exactly is so wrong with that? Sorry, give me a moment. What was that? Okay, sorry about that, guys. Nothing, I suppose. Only that the book contained recipes for medicines, not desserts. And everyone who entered the contest supposedly knew that. I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere. I can't let him slip from my grasp now. I just need to stay calm and keep the pressure on. Next, let's find out why he wanted the cookbook. Did you know what the book was really worth? Did you know how valuable the cookbook really was? What kind of question is that? You thought it was a collection of Tangaro's recipes. There wasn't a confectioner in the world who wouldn't have wanted to get their hands on it. I don't have a clue as to how to proceed with this line of questioning. I'd better try another tack, okay? So your plan was to win the cookbook and use it to help you with your own creations. What else? A book like that could have improved my craft tenfold. You could have made a lot of money if you'd sold it. Huh. I don't know much about what was actually in there. But it was worth more than money, I'll tell you that. Okay. Come now, Mr. Gusto. I think you know more about the Ultimate Cookbook than you claim. Huh. They told us a little about it at the start of the contest. Ha! Then you know what kind of recipes it actually contained, don't you? And that they weren't dessert recipes at all. Ugh. I see you did your homework. Fine, so you know what was really in there. The Ultimate Cookbook, or the Angel's Cookbook to give it its proper title. It's a collection of chemical formulas and ways to synthesize new medicines nobody has ever heard of. So he did know that the cookbook actually contained recipes for medicines. This could be an important clue. Okay, we've gone through that line. Time to deploy my clue. Except you know it's not really there. Your designs may have improved thanks to your training in Shengfa, but you clearly didn't do enough work on your skills of deception. You have already admitted that you knew the Ultimate Cookbook was a collection of recipes for medicines. Thereby making your interest not gastronomical, but pharmaceutical in nature. You needed medicine, didn't you? Wait, his son was sick? You're a confectioner, Mr. Gusto. You had no professional interest in revolutionary new medicines, which suggests that your interest must have been personal. I underestimated you. Fine, you're right. Winning the title wasn't the only reason I entered the contest. I needed one of the recipes in that book. It was for my son. He was sick. Oh no, I didn't want that to be right. He was? Tell me more. That's none of your business. I've told you as much as you need to know. He looks rattled, but I can't let him off the hook. Let's find out what this mystery illness was. I've almost gotten to the bottom of this. I can feel it. Just a few more moves. Tell me about your son. Tell me a little more about your son. He was my pride and joy, and my biggest fan was he died then. And you entered the contest in order to help him. You clearly don't have children of your own. Any father would have done the same. I would have done anything to help him. Anything! He would come see me here at the contest venue too, right up through the semi-final. Really? He didn't get in the way of your work? If you were trying to beat Samson Tangaroa, surely you didn't have time to look after a child? Yeah, well, I wanted to do what I could for him. He said he wanted to always be the first to try my creations. So he wasn't too sick to join you? You said your son was sick, Mr. Gusto, and yes, he was able to come and join you for the contest. Huh. It wasn't that kind of illness. Nothing life-threatening anyway. This feels like it could be an important clue. Was the book necessary for him to get better? So you needed the cookbook to cure your son? Yeah, nowadays you can get the medication he needed anywhere. But back then, that book was our only hope. Which is why I didn't dare waste my time on fancy tea parties. I had to give my all to my work. And what about Mr. Tangaroa's work? Surely that tea break gave me the perfect opportunity to go steal a glance at it. And what makes you think I had the energy or time to care about what the others had made? Bite time? Huh. I'm still recovering, so if you've got nothing to say, let me go back to the medical room. Oops, wrong. That wasn't right. Okay. Okay. I made a mistake there. You cared about Mr. Tangaroa's work? I think you've made it abundantly clear how much interest you had in Mr. Tangaroa's work. What's more, if you were that determined to win the Ultimate Cookbook, I seriously doubt you would have passed up on a chance to take a peek at your competitors' entries. Ugh. I'd had plenty of chances throughout the contest to see and sample my rival's work, you know. But each time I did, Nothing seemed to have any flavour. Must have been nerves or something. Nothing Mr. Gusto tasted had any flavour. That seems like it could be an important clue. What was the name of your son's condition? It's the thing that Samson's got. Could you tell me the name of the disease your son suffered from? Huh. You're a real cold customer, Mr. Prosecutor. Isn't it enough that he was seriously ill? Why would you force me to tell you more? Time to deploy my clue. But it wasn't life-threatening, was it? You've already shared with me that your son's illness wasn't life-threatening. His son was the one taste testing the works. Did his son get poisoned? So why are you reluctant to share any further details? It may not have been life-threatening, but that doesn't mean it hadn't been life-altering. I see. That must have been very hard on both of you. Of course it was. That is why I did everything I could to find a cure. We were desperate. He couldn't taste anything, not even his favourite desserts. Did he have a taste disorder? Oh, fucking hell. As I understand it, the Ultimate Cookbook contains the recipe for a very particular medication. One that Mr. Tangaroa used to cure himself of his own taste disorder. So he had it too. Too, you say? So your son has a taste disorder then, am I correct? Ugh! How did I let that slip? You've been asking me to believe that you needed to win the cookbook in order to cure your son. But was that really the case? Huh, of course it was. What are you saying? I'm saying that I'm not so sure that's true based on everything you told me. Time to deploy my clue. You were sick yourself, weren't you? Taste disorders are difficult to live with. It isn't easy not being able to enjoy your food. You should know. After all, you just told me you'd experienced something like that during the contest. You said that nothing you sampled had any flavour. Those were your words, correct? The book has the cure for obesity. Yes! Finally! I can get rid of my bingo wings. Yippee! Which would seem to suggest that you were suffering from a taste disorder. A confection without a sense of taste. Not exactly ideal. Are you sure it wasn't actually your own condition you were seeking a cure for, Mr. Gusto? I've had enough of your speculations. I managed just fine in that contest. Made all my own entries, no problems. But weren't you working with Mr. Frost? Huh. Sorry, but I'm afraid you're contradicting your own testimony. You already admitted that you and Mr. Frost had worked together during the contest. It's too late to claim you did it all on your own now. You would have us believe that you are a man of principle, a dedicated student of the confectioner's art. Yet you abandoned those principles and conspired with Mr. Frost to rig the contest. Also, you could cure your own taste disorder. You got me, Mr. Prosecutor. As you said, my sense of taste was shot. My son's was fine. I'd kept it hidden for so long. 18 years and nobody knew. Sadly, you can lie to others, but you can't lie to me. Both Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost entered the contest hoping to obtain the Ultimate Cookbook, for the medicine that would cure Mr. Gusto's disorder and the money it would bring for Mr. Frost. Thus, an uneasy alliance was forged. He used his son to taste test everything, and I'm guessing that something he made killed his son. And that, I believe, is checkmate. Damn. That's rough. I'll admit it. You're good. I never told anybody of this, but you figured it all out anyway. It's true. 18 years ago, I developed a geisha. A gougea?
What's a gougea?
It's a taste disorder that makes it so you can't taste anything at all. A confectioner's worst nightmare. Mr. Fender, is this what Mr. Tangaroa had as well?
No, the big man had what they call dissociated taste disorder. Basically, some things he could taste just fine, while others had no flavour at all.
So he suffered too. Can't have been easy. Not when there wasn't a way to cure it on the market. Which is why you needed Mr. Tangaroa's cookbook. Do you admit now that that was the real reason you entered the contest? It was only one of the reasons. I wasn't lying when I said I wanted the title. When I put my mind to something, it gets done. And I won't lose to anybody. I may not have been able to taste it then, but I still knew my stuff was good enough to win. Oh, so you went into the final thinking you stood a good chance of winning. Huh, of course. What was it the Fender said about what Mr. Tangrowth thought of Mr. Gusto's creations? Mr. Gusto's creations were a perfect balance of flavour and design, at least up through the semi-final. But, disappointingly, his entry for the final was subpar on both counts. We were told that your entry for the final was far from the prize-winning taste sensation you described. What happened, Mr. Gusto? What went wrong that day? Fine. You want me to talk? I'll talk, but you're not going to like what I have to say. Right. This is the point we're going to wrap it up, alright? Let's play over here. I know this is a weird place for us to leave it, but, like, we've been going 2 hours, and I'm at the limit of what my voice can do at the minute, so I'm going to have to wrap it up there. Okay, there we go. Right. Yeah, I'm sorry it's a bit of a weird place to leave it, but like I say, I need to rest my voice. I need to really pace myself with this thing. So, tomorrow is Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm going to put a schedule together soon. I need to find out when band practice is. I was going to do Metroid Temple of the Winds on Monday, but I kind of fancy more Exile. And we've got Wii games coming up on Wednesday, so that should be cool. I need to work on my Wii setup a bit. I'm going to have a look at that over the weekend, maybe. I'm sure I've got a little shelf somewhere that I can just, like, put behind where my monitor sits, and that would be good for where the Wii sensor can go. I'll work on that. I'll work on it. Anyway, guys, in the meantime, cheers for the hangs. Tonight has been fun. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow at 3 PM UK time for some Monster Hunter. If I don't, then maybe at some point next week. We can end the next case and start the next one on a fresh one. Yeah, exactly. Precisely that, Ara. Precisely that. So, I'm going to go. I'm going to go get myself some food. You guys look after yourselves. Cheers for the hangs again. I will see you very soon. Take care.